Will you join us and lead us in the pledge?
Shall we all stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tim. Philo, have a roll call, please.
Mr. McCourt.
Yes, here.
Mr. Browning.
Here.
Mrs. Malad.
Here.
Ms. Reister.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here. Next item is to approve the agenda as presented. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Andy. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reister.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Mr. McCourt.
Yes. Next item to approve the minutes of the Thursday, May 6th, 2021 regular meeting with the attachments. May I have a motion?
Second.
Jerry, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Malad.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Reister.
Yes.
Mr. McCourt.
Yes. Board reports, good of the order. Andy, you want to start us up?
Sure. Well, nice change from last year when we had an in-person graduation, so it was great to be able to shake the students' hands and see the expressions and grins and sometimes sometimes some kind of, yeah, oh, okay, yeah, right.
The mask.
Yeah. But, other than that, I don't have.
Okay, Jerry?
Yeah, I was going to comment about graduation, how nice it was to get back in person. Even though we were practicing social distancing, a lot of stuff, but it was just kind of neat to see the kids. Along the lines of graduation, I don't know how many people have seen it, but our athletic director, Kevin Alexander, actually picked up a diploma for AJ Bills, who was running at Wayne High School that night, so he had to miss graduation. And thanks to Wayne High School, because they actually announced, they were on the podium, and they announced that the AD was there with AJ's diploma, and they allowed him to present the diploma right there at the track. So it's a really neat video if anybody's had a chance to see it. That's it.
Okay, Mary?
Ditto.
What he said.
What both of them said. No, graduation, probably my most favorite event of the year. You know, the emotions, the excitement, from the students to the parents to the friends, and I'm just excited to see all of these cool little people, they're not little, young adults getting ready to go out into the world and hopefully make a difference. And it's exciting. I was going to mention AJ thing, very cool, very exciting. And then school's out for summer, and if I were prepared like Kevin Philo, I would prepare music, but I am prepared, so that's all I have for you.
Katie?
Yeah, so I was sorry to miss graduation this year, but my own child had her first actual in-person performance, so that was super exciting for our family, and I didn't want to miss that when we've been, bereft and devoid of all of that good stuff for so long. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who came out for Jazz Fest. That was a fabulous event. If I do say so myself. Wendy and I pulled it off. I wasn't sure we were going to, but it happened. And it was a really, really lovely night. And we had so many people that came out to celebrate that with us. And I and the rest of the music club were very grateful to that. So also last month I was invited by the city of Fairborn as a stakeholder to participate in their first Equity and Inclusion Seminar. Examining racial bias was led by the Chief Diversity Officer at Sinclair. So that was really neat to sit with some of the other city leaders and start to really break down what we're doing in terms of race and equity in the city of Fairborn. And now I'm looking forward to, we're planning with the inclusive Fairborn group, Fairborn's first ever Pride event will be coming up here in mid-June, and so I'm very happy to be working with that group to make that happen. So it's been a busy few weeks and continues to be so as we move into June. So, and as one fellow teacher to all the rest of the teachers, enjoy your summer. So.
Thanks, Katie. I would just echo said comments regarding graduation. Great night. Always good to see kids. You see kids coming up and smiling, and some aren't, some are crying. So it's really good to see the kids go through graduation. To Mrs. Zink and all the people who put that on, kudos. A lot of work there, but they did a great job and made that event happen. Today, around 2 o'clock or so, I attended a ceremony at the high school for Pam Browning and Tom Kirsch, their retirement. Everyone came out. It was kind of neat. We lined the hallway, and the two of them come walking down the hallway arm in arm, making their last stroll through the hallways. But and then we had some nice cupcakes and some drinks afterwards in the cafeteria there. So good to see. Had a great turnout. A lot of our townspeople, a lot of retired teachers. Punk Williams came out. Ron McDermott. A lot of the old guard. So really good to see them. Like I said, school's out. The kids deserve a break, but I think this time around the teachers may deserve a break even more. But I do appreciate our teachers and everything they've done to get us through this year, to get the kids through this year. And hopefully next year it's going to be back to semi-normal, and they'll get back to doing what they really love to do, and that's teach the kids in the classroom. So with that, and if no one else has anything else, we'll move along to school district presentations. Mr. Lally.
Thank you, Mr. McCourt. First
Oh,
up,
wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Recognition of visitors.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Good Lord. Jumped one.
I forgot to make the announcement. Did anybody want to address the board under public comments? If so, please stand and state your name.
Can I sit here?
You can stay there.
One thing, you have all talked a lot about graduation. When I moved to Fairborn, it was 10 November 2013. And all I heard about in my early time after that was how terrible the schools were here. I am so proud to say that they are not that way. And a lot of the credit goes to every one of you. I mean, the paper's been pretty good too about talking about how many scholarships have been earned, how many are going into the service or whatever, You all have a lot to be proud of. And I'm thrilled to be able to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have two other things that are totally different. One is the bathroom around here. I have nothing to lose. I'm not paid by you. But there is a catalog, Dr. Leonard's catalog. You can order a thing that will set up. I about almost couldn't get up out of there. It was so hard. And it's only a few bucks and it'd be worth it.
We've heard that from numerous female staff members here.
I offered to speak because, like I said, I'm not getting paid.
and there's a lot of fist pumping back there.
The third thing I have is totally unrelated to that. There's a project that I'm working on with something else involves autism. And I would just want you all to know that I have an interest in what you're seeing here. And if anybody wants to down the road enlighten me, I'd appreciate it. Because I've read already over a dozen books on autism.
And I will talk with you because that's my specialty as well. That's what I teach.
Okay, good. Maybe we can get together sometime.
Absolutely.
Part of this stems from the fact that I'm a Four Paws for Ability volunteer. As you know, they train dogs to work with autistic families. In fact, they are the only place in the world where young autistic children can get the help they need of a service dog. So that's part of it. But I thought, since I'm working on another angle with it, maybe we can work on it, a third angle.
That's a cause near and dear to my heart. So obviously I'll talk with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
Ann.
Is there anybody else present that wants to address the board?
I do. My name is H. Rosemeyer.
The bathrooms have already been discussed, so that's all.
No, I've got a couple of points tonight.
What was your name again?
H. Rosemeyer. It's literally just the letter H. I've got 3 points kind of thing. I am new moving into Fairborn. I've been at Wright State for about 3 years, but I'm just moving here now. And I was wondering, point number 1 is, in the upcoming years, or this year, or next year, or whatever, are you going to be implementing the critical race theory thing into your school?
We are looking at things curriculum-wise, and we have some programs with equity and inclusion that we are working on as we
Right.
speak.
I'm
So we are addressing some of those
Okay.
things, yes.
I'm hoping that you will not implement the critical race theory kind of thing. That's what I'm asking. Are you asking you to not implement that? It is so racist the other way that it is scary. It creates separation and diversity that you don't want to see. I am of the firm belief that children are colorblind until they are taught to be racist. And I would appreciate if you would take the time and consideration to not include it in your curriculum.
Thank you.
Point number 2 is I was just over at the school, and I don't know if you guys are still planning on having kids wearing masks with the mandate lifted or not. I just didn't know on that. What your
Follow the mandates that the governor has put out and continue to work closely with the Greene County Health Department.
Okay, but as of the June 2nd mandate lifting, are the kids going to be still required to wear masks?
They may not. If they do not have to, then I'm not going to require them to wear a mask.
Okay. And the third point is, are you going to be requiring the kids to get the COVID shots?
That we cannot do that. That has to be up to the parents. We cannot dictate
Okay.
whether somebody gets a shot or not by law.
Okay. Because there are school districts that are implementing it that say you have to get this to go to school here.
That's interesting. So, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your comments. That's one for the book.
It will just reflect in the minutes or concern congratulations to Fairborn Schools and their
Facility.
inquiry about autism.
The low turlets.
I'm not saying that. But it will be available on videotape.
Okay, Mr. Lawley.
Thank you. First up, from the Greene County Career Center for an update, Mr. Mike Eaker.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, Mr. Lawley. Wonderful to be here again. Looking ahead, since we just got finished with graduation, senior recognition, it was great. Brian McKnight was there representing the high schoolers. As far as next year is concerned, as of right now, or actually as of last Friday, we had 402 juniors accepted for next year. 49 of whom are from the Fairborn School District. We also have 70 pending acceptances once the grades are posted, an additional 14 from Fairborn, and 33 are on the wait list and 6 from Fairborn. Total applications were well over 500, including those denied due to grades, credit deficiency, or attendance. So, if all goes well, we're going to have our largest attendance ever starting this coming August at the new facility. Hired a couple new teachers. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Rob Mitchell has been hired to lead the new robotics and automation program. He comes to us from Yaskawa. We have agreed to an MOU with Ready Robotics, another company in Columbus, for them to provide their new education platform for the program. A little bit of background on Yaskawa Electric Corporation is a Japanese manufacturing of servos, motion controllers, AC motor drives, switches, and industrial robots. Their Moto Man robots are heavy-duty industrial robots. You probably have heard of those. Sure you have. They're used in welding, packaging, assembly, coating, cutting, material handling, and general automation. Yeah, the other company, Ready Robotics, is actually was born in a couple of guys from John Hopkins. They're using a new programming language. Ready Robots is now headquartered in Columbus, Ohio, and they are actually going to help us and provide us with a program on how to learn this new language. Essentially, oh, by the way, Columbus, interestingly enough, and much like Dayton, is within is within a short drive of 60% of U.S. manufacturing. It befuddles me how a state so blessed with its place in the world can be so poor at attracting advanced industry. Anyway, Ready Robotics makes it easier to program robots for manufacturing application. You know, a large number of factories, both in the United States and worldwide, would like to employ more robots, but most of the robots require special learning computer languages in order to program them, and that makes it very off-putting for a lot of folks, especially those that are used to old-fashioned manufacturing, even numerical controls. So one of the biggest challenges in investing in robots is programming them. So this Ready Robotics has created a program that uses a conversational programming interface rather than a traditional computer program. So we're gonna use that. That's going to be the basis of our program. Looking forward to teaching that this year. Another new teacher, Paul Cooper. He's going to lead the new drone and UAS technology program. He comes to us from a little company called Amazon Prime Aerial, where he worked in the technology and technology transition arm of Amazon, responsible for leading edge technology. So we're looking two great instructors with great backgrounds that are going to lead that. So, and just by way of kind of to reflect back a little bit, we know what we know that the Fairborn had $2 million in scholarships. The Career Center was awarded $1 million in college scholarships, including 225 individual tech prep scholarships to Sinclair or Clark State. 540 earned industrial credentials from both the junior and senior classes, and about 30,000 hours of work-based learning was registered by students on placement in their supposedly cooperative part-time jobs. Finally, we're going to finally get rid of our last piece of unnecessary property. The auction for the Agricultural Research Center facility out on Brush Row was held today, and we expect to entertain the resulting contract next week at our regular board meeting. So I should be able to report on that at the end of the summer during my next visit here, if we haven't already publicized that as we normally do through all the papers. So with that, are there any questions?
Sounds like great things out there.
Right.
We're going strong. It really has. It was a great year. We're losing a couple of really great teachers. Our Career X teacher and then one of our social studies teachers, but through retirement. But things are just humming along, hoping for the best.
The 500 plus students that received the credential, or is that eligible for the alternative graduation requirement?
Yes and no. It depends. I mean, that's a good program manager starts every answer with "it depends." But those credentials are essentially entry into industry.
Okay.
So, and, you know, and quite honestly, if you're looking to get out of school and start working, a lot of our students were more interested in the credentials than they were in the diploma.
Mike, sounds like you're gonna have record numbers out there this next year.
Yes, sir.
How many students can you tell us, can you hold out there?
Okay, we sized the school for 950 maximum.
Okay.
So, and for various and sundry reasons, not the least of which is that we don't want, there are actually students that, good chance that we'll have more students from their school attending our high school than attend the home school.
Oh my gosh.
So we don't want to be there.
Right.
And because I think about half the students, at least half the students, probably should stay at their home school just because it's for what they're headed for. But we wanted to make sure that we sized it so that we could hold, and you know, basically we could teach those who want to get into it. And that's why we can hold our standards high, because we can then be selective and make sure we get the right guys and girls.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever had older people come and learn?
We used to have, and actually we still have adult programs. Right now we only have one, and it's in our police academy. And we are looking, and we're negotiating, having talks with both Sinclair and Clark State to share the facility and let them run the adult programs. You know, it used to be that we had a lot of adult programs, but then the colleges got involved, especially the community colleges got involved in the adult education, and they drew off a lot from us. So we're actually looking to.
Well, that answers my question, and I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Twice a year, we are required to give a polling report. So tonight, Mr. Walker will update us on the latest with our polling.
This year, to date, we had one official bullying case that was investigated, and it did not turn out to be a case of bullying. When you're defining if it's bullying or not, if it is something that is intent to hurt, embarrass another person, and it is continuous and ongoing, it is considered bullying. A lot of times when you get into this, it's not one-sided, it is two-sided, and there are things that are going on both ways. So this one was one of those cases, and it did not end up to be bullying.
Any questions?
That's good news.
Yeah. Okay, tonight, I want to thank our district technology team for all of their hard work and dedication to keep staff and students connected during the pandemic with the distribution of our one-to-one technology entire district-wide. Under the leadership of our supervisor, Emily Geisel, for technology, this team continues to work tirelessly to keep our district running. And without their knowledge and expertise, the Fairborn City Schools would struggle daily with technology. First, Tim Steininger. Tim has managed the parent portal since the beginning of the school year and has taken care of over 400 parent tickets. His attention to detail and ability go above and beyond when visiting and calling families to help with tech support is incredible, Tim. Tim responded to families within a few hours and always provided assistance with a caring and knowledgeable manner. Tim, thank you. Mike Morrow and Rich Hawley. Mike and Rich stepped up during the pandemic to adapt and prepare for the distribution of one-to-one technology, also district-wide. When schools shut down, both attended daily meetings and continued to provide staff and family support. While doing this, both attended trainings to prepare for upcoming changes. And during the summer, Mike and Rich collected thousands of devices from all the buildings to clean and prep for students. They worked in the media center in the extreme heat and also kept their summer workload. Both were very patient with moving of equipment and constant changes within the department. Mike and Rich set up stations, worked for long hours for weeks, and also met with families to distribute devices during the pandemic during the very, very uncertain times. Mike has taken the lead and provided daily on-site support for virtual families, and Rich has worked extremely hard while in recovery from cancer. Both team members have supported one-to-one at all buildings with students and staff. Just a side note, Mike Morrow is a graduate of Fairborn City Schools. These team members help keep families, students, and staff connected with technology. We thank you very much for your professionalism and your dedication during these unprecedented times. We truly appreciate your hard work. And Emily, under your supervision and guidance, we appreciate what you have done to keep all of us on our toes and keep this school system running with the tech. With that, I'd like to present. Rick and Tim, you come forward and maybe a picture with the board. If we could have someone take a picture, if they wouldn't mind. Tim, congratulations. Thank you very, very much for your dedication. Thank you, Tim. Rich. Thank you. Okay. Mike. Thank you. Appreciate it. Come forward with a picture here.
Thank you.
I'll get a picture and send it to you.
That's fine.
You get in the picture.
Yeah,
You know, like a twister.
You don't
I'm waiting in there.
Yes,
Get
that.
to get in the picture.
So a little inside story. If you ever want to get a present for her daughter, get a tape measure,
Okay, pleasure.
Really?
right?
Okay, I
She
will.
was cooking out at the.
I'm going to Menards. They're having a ball with this tape measure.
All right.
Why am I in front? Short people.
Did you get everybody?
Yep. But gotta hold the picture up. All right, ready?
Thank you.
That's what I meant.
Before I get into the facilities update, I just wanted to basically follow up on a few comments here. And yes, the last year and a half, we've been through unprecedented times through this pandemic. And what our entire staff has done in every building, from the teachers to the custodians to the bus drivers, to our cafeteria workers, I'm worried I'm leaving somebody out. I don't mean to, but even the staff here at the board office. Many people burn the midnight oil to get programs implemented. I thank you as superintendent of this school district, and I know the board has always been very appreciative. So to all of you, thank you for getting our kids through this tough year. But I think there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we're coming back in the fall, back to normal, no mask, and we're going to continue to get on with educating our kids and where the educational process should be. So, thank you.
The recurring theme in the graduation speeches can be echoed to the staff members too, which is flexibility.
Yes.
And
right.
Flexibility, adaptability, and
Right.
Okay. And speaking of that, we'd like to thank the band for helping us on Memorial Day out at the
Yes.
cemetery.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
call.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Went very well.
Okay. Just a brief facility update. At the high school, the HVAC system is still under reconstruction. It should be up and running hopefully here in the next week or two, from my understanding. So that is in motion, and they are making progress on that. I got an opportunity to tour the intermediate construction site earlier in the week, and it's very impressive. It's a lot of building there. It looks massive from the outside, but when you start walking through it, that's going to be a big building.
they're maybe just a few days behind. I know the last couple of days, we've had some rain, so maybe they're a couple days, we lost a couple days yesterday and today, but they're not too far off schedule there, so they are making progress. The primary, Jeff and I are meeting with the company to continue to work on getting those leaks revamped and fixed. So we had a meeting last week with a number of people, so we are making some progress there. With that, I think in work session we're going to talk about the high school. I'm sure you all are aware that we canceled the groundbreaking ceremony for tomorrow and moved that to Monday. We were out there at the site this morning, and right now it's a disaster out there. It's a quagmire, and it's just not going to be ready for us to do what we need to do for the ceremony. So Monday at 1 o'clock. I think tomorrow it's all supposed to start drying out and well into the 80s over the weekend and on Monday. So I believe it'll be a lot better to do this on Monday. Okay. Thank you. That's our update.
Questions from the board at all?
If any of our guests would like to leave now, would be your 60 seconds to run. Mike, Tim, H.
They already left.
Next from the budget and finance, treasurer's recommendation is made to approve the following. And that's the recommended that the Board of Education accept the receipt of the monthly financial report for April 2021 with attachments. May I have a motion?
So second.
Wow,
Thank you.
That was good unison.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Browning.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Ms. Reister.
Yes.
Mr. McCord.
Yes. Administrative reports and superintendent recommendations. That will carry us on to, I think, page 9 or 10. 9? Yes. We've had a chance to look at all this stuff that's been presented. Any questions on anything the board would like to pull out for comment?
Approval of the graduating classes in here, so.
Indeed. Okay.
Take so 3
Good.
pages.
Yes.
May I have a motion then?
So moved.
Thank you, Mary.
Second?
Thank you, Andy. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reister.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Browning.
Yes.
Mrs. Malad.
Yes.
Mr. McCord.
Yes. Gifts and donations. Andy, will you read those off for us, please?
Certainly. Turf field donations, as always, we are very grateful for the community members that step up and volunteer their hard-earned money to support our efforts here. We have an anonymous donation of $100. Greg and Terry Duple, $500. A very generous donation from Ace Hardware, Mr. Grimes at $15,000. Ron McDermott, $100. Craig Moore, $200. Steve Ross, $25, and Samuel Thomason III, $500. So, marching along on our turf fund here.
If I may just comment on the Ace Hardware, I am a part-time employee of that group, and Dave Grimes, of course, the Grimes family, graduates of Fairborn City Schools, has been in Fairborn for a long, long time. Dave is the type of guy, I believe, that will always be there for us. Ace Hardware and Handyman over the summer, they donate these green, we call them totes, for the people to put the lunches in for the kids. I think we donated maybe 50 of those. Just a lot easier to get food around. The summer, I know we donated a couple pallets of water to the, or I shouldn't say the summer, but this spring, to the athletic department so they can have good, clean water when they need it. So thank you to Dave Grimes and appreciate Ace Hardware, Ace Handyman. Okay,
We'll now go into a short work session to be followed by an executive session. During the work session, we'll talk about a couple items. The main thing is some of the high school stuff, and also end of the year, next board meeting, July board meeting, and we'll have the executive session. So, other than that, we don't anticipate any further action items other than one executive session and adjournment.
okay. Take 5.
5 minute break.